And we're live. Hello, Internet. Today we're winding things back to launch day for the PlayStation 1 and looking at two of the launch titles, starting with Air Combat. So, this could more commonly be remembered as Ace Combat 1. You know, the first Ace Combat. This seems to have started out as a arcade game, I think 93, somewhere around there. So this wasn't a original release in 95 when it launched with the PlayStation. And yeah, this opening cinematic is, fairly simple. Not too many polygons going on, not too much action. So, you might be a little bit underwhelmed if you're not used to the standards of the era. But when you get into the actual game itself, it ends up being something a bit more involved than you would think from first blush.
You are the cream of the world's air forces. This country desperately needs your help. 6 months ago, an extremely well-armed and organized terrorist force carried out a coup d'etat. Attempts to free our country have been foiled by repeated surprise attacks. To avoid escalating this war and causing unacceptable civilian losses, we wish to employ your services. Surgical airstrikes and the elimination of enemy air superiority will tip the scales in our favor. You will receive remuneration commensurate with your positions as the premier top guns of the world.
So that's the entire setup for the story. We play as air mercenaries, helping a unnamed and unidentified nation fight off some extremely well-armed terrorists. So there's an overworld in this game, which I would not have thought going in. So yeah, you can have multiple aircraft. You start off with only these two. The other different stats, and the like that stability, mobility, defense, offense, power. Go between like similar levels. It doesn't mean very much. But when you compare like something with a well rated to something with like a very high rated, you can tell the difference with these. So let's talk the F-14. First mission.
This is an evaluation of your operational abilities. Intelligence reports an enemy supply unit moving to resupply their forward position. You should have the advantage of surprise. We should have localized air superiority for the duration of the operation. Target, C5A supply unit.
Alright, so we choose our plane. Let's go with the F-14 Tomcat. It was good enough for Tom Cruise, it's good enough for me. That's what I say.
Ready? Break now!
And now we're playing. So the L and R1 handle your speed. The circle button fires the missiles. Cross button fires your guns. You can bring up a map here with the square button. Let's see if I can kill this guy with guns.
Stay with him.
You're not supposed to kill things with a gun.
Don't let him get away.
You know, the range is pretty short. So, you know, I'm at like 500 meters from this thing.
Don't let him get away.
So it's a very small range.
Stay with him. Don't let him get away. Away on our left.
So yeah, that's impractical. You use the missiles.
Up ahead. Fire. Focus on our six.
And as you can see, there's a little radar at the bottom that changes distance from short range to medium to long range as things get closer or near.
Enemy in sight.
You can see the altitude on the right, your speed on the left. You see your ammo at the bottom. There's a little damage indicator. There's a fuel bar that doesn't really mean much in the upper corner.
On target. Fire. Shoot him down.
And yeah, you fly around and you shoot at stuff. You know, the map is actually very useful. The compass is useful. You know, the range of altitude is actually very significant for this era. Most other flight combat games from the mid-90s, you know, that weren't on PC, usually had you hugging the ground pretty close. So being able to like have, you know, a few thousand feet of altitude adjustment is really nice actually, because you can do more like flight sim stuff. You know, there's more verticality. You know, you can mess with the speed and your angle of attack a lot better.
Enemy targets located.
Now, one of the issues with this game is the draw distance, but it's kind of weird to criticize the draw distance because it goes out to like 3 kilometers or something, which, you know, would be insane in any other game of this era. But here, because of the speeds and the, you know, distances involved and everything, it's actually not much draw distance.
Enemy
But even then, you know, it works well. You know, it's enough.
on our left.
You know, the controls are snappy,
Up ahead.
and it works well. And yeah, there's an F4 Phantom here, going up against an F14. That the F4 loses just about every time in that engagement.
Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot him down. Enemy targets located.
Yeah, just the basic combat loop with this game is satisfying.
Enemy locked on target.
You know, you fly towards a target, you get lock on, you shoot missiles, a big bingo pops up when you hit. You know,
Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot him
the voice over the radio, you know, is encouraging. You know, it celebrates when you do well. There's a lot of positive reinforcement going on in this game.
Mission accomplished.
And yeah, each level, you fly around, you shoot some specific targets, and then the mission ends. There's not a lot of uncertainty going on here. It's all very straightforward. And you might have noticed the ground textures weren't particularly good, and the loading in for those was pretty bad. But again, I'm going to apologize for the game and say that you're a good like 3,000 feet above the ground. It's nice that you can see anything really. So in between missions, you can go back to your hangar and buy new planes with the reward money you get at the end of the missions. Now, there's a maximum capacity of, I think, 8 planes, so and there's more than 8 planes in the game to buy. These also work the same way as like having a lives system. So if I fly this F4 and I get shot down in a mission, that F4 is gone. I've never run out of planes before in this game, so I can't tell you if there's a game over there. But it's also not a hard game either. So let's go look at this second mission here.
Immediate mobilization required. Our base's position was compromised in the last enemy push. Reports indicate imminent arrival of bombers. Scramble and ace those bogies. Target, B-52 Bomber Force.
Still going with the trusty old F-14 again. It's better than F-4, if you ask me.
Ready? Break now.
So we have some F2s over there. They're gonna die pretty easily. Oh, you can change targets with the triangle button. If you're better at it than I am, that is.
Focus on our six. Up ahead. Fire. Shoot it down. Quick shot. Let's bring the toes. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus. Focus on our six. Bingo. Yeah. Focus on our tail. Take off. On our right. Focus on our tail.
So yeah, this has the expected flying game thing of slowing down for tight turns, speeding up on approach.
Focus on our six.
I'm going to eventually have to deal with missiles coming at me in later levels.
Enemy locked up ahead.
Like this game isn't too hard. Yeah, see, now I'll have. Oh, I got hit with a missile.
Enemy in sight.
So yeah, I'm not paying attention too well to what I'm doing, and this is going harder for me than it should.
Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss!
And this can happen. You get into a dogfight.
Missile approaching. Nine! On our left! Focus on our tail! Take off! On our right! Up ahead!
There's no fancy maneuvers you can do really.
Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Focus on our six.
And you only have so many missiles. I mean, it's usually enough missiles, but you can
Up ahead!
run through them if you take dumb shots. Like if something's going sideways from you like that, like this,
Jesus, miss!
missiles aren't quite gonna reach them.
Stay with him. Don't let him get away.
Whereas if you're behind them, you're gonna hit, and there you go.
Up ahead! On our right! Up ahead!
And there is the inherent absurdity of this terrorist force flying B-52s around. They're going to eventually get,
Enemy locked
like
on target.
F-22s and MiG-31s.
Stay with him.
Just silly stuff like that.
Shoot him away.
So it does raise questions about what kind of terrorists these are to have, advanced stealth fighter jets and aircraft carriers. But again, you don't take it too seriously, The plot is really more just an excuse to have you get into various dogfights with a variety of airplanes. But yeah, those ground textures aren't looking hot. Again, it's 1995. What do you want?
Located. Enemy locked on target. Focus on our six. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Put it down.
Okay, see, like that. If you're not lined up right,
Jesus, miss.
nothing's gonna happen.
located. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo!
And there you go. That's this mission.
Mission accomplished.
There's a little bit of variation in the mission types. There's a couple of trench runs you need to do. There's a few missions where you target some kind of ground emplacement. But a lot of it is this. And there are 17 missions in total, with the last one being a boss fight against a airship, which is very funny. There's also a mechanic eventually where you can hire out a wingman to accompany you on the mission. They don't do much other than talk at you and maybe draw aggro a bit. You know, so we have enough money to buy this MiG. We do, so let's buy a MiG. You know, it's only like, you know, $30 million. Or is that? Oh, it's $3 million. Yes, it's only $3 million. That's nothing. So yeah, you can't replay missions, so there's no grinding for currency. You get what you get.
AWACS reports an enemy incursion in our sector. We are diverting you from local air support to forward operations. Neutralize the approaching units. Target enemy attacking force. Formation makeup is unknown. Expect enemy fighter support and a tough dogfight. Good luck.
Alright, yeah, so let's look at... So our MiG-31 has a lot more health and stopping power, but it controls like a cow. You know, in comparison to this F-14, which has better stability, but not as good health or weapons. So let's try the MiG. Let's see how this goes.
Ready? Break now! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Back one! Bogey on our 6. Up ahead! Bogey on our... Enemy target located. On our left! Up ahead! One! Bogey on our 6. Enemy in... Up ahead! Take off!
Yeah, this thing, I can notice that it's controlling not as well. But it does have, I think, slightly more missiles or something, or I could be making that up, I don't know.
Enemy target located. On our left.
You know, and there's some variety to the environments. You know, there's a desert area, there's a city area. You know, there's like a port town you can go to with like a fake Golden Gate Bridge in it. Whoops.
Bogey on our 6. On our left. Up ahead. Locked on target. Fire on our Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our tail. Take off. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, miss. On our right.
Yeah, I gotta stop shooting when they're going perpendicular to me like that.
Up ahead.
So yeah, I'm not, you know, amazing at this game,
Locked on target.
but it's still a good time.
Here. Oh.
I'm having fun with this, which is more than most games for the PlayStation in 1995, I'd say.
Let's return to mission, buddy.
And I think from beginning to end, this can take about 2 to 3 hours. So it's not long by our standards, but by the standards of the time, it's quite hefty, actually.
Enemy target located. Enemy target focusing on our 6. Enemy target located.
And the
Enemy in
music's
sight.
good.
Take off.
I mean, it's not special or memorable, but it gets the job done. It gets you. It gets you excited enough for the gameplay. So just everything taken together, from the silly, bingo popping up when you hit something, the controls, the music, the basic combat design. It's just a fun game. And most games from this era are intentionally not fun. Oh, here we have our first F-18 of the game. These are harder to hit. Eventually, when we go up against F-22s, those are almost entirely immune to missiles and have to be taken out the hard way. That's probably the biggest, pain in the butt in the game. That's also to be expected.
Enemy in sight. Fire! Put down! Jesus, miss! Don't let him. Jesus, miss! Stay with him. Don't let him get away. Jesus, miss! Stay with him. Don't let him get away. Stay with him.
There we go. So yeah, those are harder to hit.
Accomplished.
Even with the few problems this has, I am confident in saying that this is my favorite PlayStation game from 1995. In fact, after playing this the first time, I even went and bought a physical copy, just to have it. That's how much I enjoy this thing. Oh, here we go. Finally get Wingman. Hey, look, there's finally an F-18 we can buy. Oh, whoops. There is... So because the circle button is accept and X is exit, it's easy as a Western game player to get confused. This was before there was real standardization going on with which buttons were accepted and which ones weren't. So this is one of the few night missions in the
Up to
game.
now, our offensive missions have been constrained by the presence of civilians in Donut City. A recent evacuation of that city permits us to engage hard targets within the city perimeter. Target 1, Computer Communications Center. Target 2, Enemy Headquarters Building. Night conditions should neutralize enemy ground fire. However, the city has at least 3 interceptors available. We have no intelligence on force composition. From now on, you will have a wingman assigned to you. Inform him of the operation before departure.
Yeah, Donut City. You know, that could be a Donut City. You know, like Donut Land from Mario World or something. Or that could be like a reference to, you know, Donetsk, something like that, which, you know, is timely, I suppose. Anyway, there are a few different wingmen you can hire. So see, they have wages. I don't have enough for any of them, really. Yeah, you see, it's not going to let me do it. But if I did have the cash, then I could hire one out, you know, and the wages are per mission. You know, and you unlock more wingmen as you go along who are in better planes. And you can give them some, you know, instructions or what have you. But for now, let's take our new shiny FA-18 by ourselves and see how we do.
Ready? Break now!
I think this is the first mission where we have to worry about anti-air.
Enemy targets located. Look at 12 o'clock. Bingo! Yahoo!
And the anti-air is something you have to be careful about.
Lock on us. Missile approaching. Dive! Focus on our 6. Enemy up ahead! On our left! Up ahead! Focus on our 6. Enemy in sight. Let's return to mission. Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot down! Great shot! Back one! Enemy targets located.
And yeah, even if, you know, you forget the music, you know, out like 5 minutes after finish the game, it's still really good in the moment.
Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with them. Bingo! Yahoo! Blew him away.
Alright, got rid of those jerks.
Enemy in sight.
So generally you want to try to take care of the anti-air before the main target, unless you feel lucky.
Altitude too low. Climb.
Oh, and this is where you get kind of into a pattern, a habit. You know, you fly off, get altitude, turn around, do a high-speed fly-in, kill one thing, and then fly out again. You know, that's the safe way to do it. You know, it's like here, going for it, shoot a missile, get the hell out. You know, fly out a bit, turn around, repeat.
Take off.
And it's just fun enough to not get boring.
Enemy targets located. Enemy targets located. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Focus on our 6. Enemy targets located. Enemy targets located.
Yeah, I'm not talking that much because, you know, this music jams. I'm sitting here listening to it.
Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Wasted! Wasted! Enemy in sight. Bingo! Yahoo!
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a big deal now, but as we, you know, look up more games, there are flight combat games from this era, the fact that you can climb like 1,000 feet is truly incredible by the standards of the time. So let's gain some altitude, make a beeline for the objective. You know, that dot coming up is probably some more anti-air. don't care about it.
Located.
But these MiGs I do care about, so let's deal with them.
Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot down. Great shot. Wait. Bogey on our 6.
What's that old idea? Speed is your armor. That's why I fly in at like 1,000 miles per hour at these guys. Because if I'm too fast for their missiles, then I'm not gonna get hit, right? That's how dogfighting works, sure.
Up ahead.
Anyway,
Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Fire. Shoot it down. Great shot. Stay with him. Don't let him get away. Stay with him. Don't let him get away.
yeah, this is a very dumb way to try to kill anything with the guns. But hey, oh well. Now that they're out of the way, we have our targets coming up. Oh, a lot of backhack going on.
Focus 12 o'clock. Bingo! Yeah! Bogey on our tail. On our left. Enemy up ahead.
Yep, where'd this guy come from?
Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down. Enemy target located. Don't let him get away. Back one.
Alright, that should be it for the air cover. Just gotta do a few laps and take out the ground targets and we should be
Enemy in
done.
sight.
While also not getting shot. It's usually a good idea to not get shot. Just some life advice.
Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yeah!
I probably don't have to scream in there at like, what, Mach 2? But hey, you know what, it's fun.
Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot.
Yep, and that's everything.
Mission
So yeah, there's like maybe one other night mission in the game. You know, it's a nice bit of variety. So that's probably enough of this game to give you an idea of what's going on with it. You know, the mission rewards increase over time, the cost of things increase over time. It's a fairly standard upgrade in difficulty curve. But yeah, not at all an unreasonable game. Again, I highly recommend looking at this for anyone who is interested in, you know, the flight combat genre. People who've ever touched a Ace Combat game, and you know want to take a look at where it came from. So it is weird to play one of these without the strange reel, because that doesn't come in until like Ace Combat 3 or 4, probably 4. You know, so it's weird to see one of these games without all that nonsense going on. But speaking of nonsense, we now have to deal with another launch game for the PlayStation. Battle Arena Toshinden, a 3D fighting game, originally released to arcades, I think, at the beginning of 1995 or 94, something like that.
Eight traveling fighters brought together by a common destiny now meet at the Battle Arena Toshinden. Many years have passed since this tournament, known only to those in the underworld, was last held. Some fighters have come for personal glory. Others have come to fight for those they love. But all will do their best to be victorious in this tournament, which will decide their fortunes.
Sure. So I'm very much not a fighting game guy. So here, let's go for... Oh, it's very easy. Let's go for very easy. Let's push around the AI a bit. What do you say? Yeah, this takes the 3D fighting game idea very literally with the sidestepping. And, you know, for one of these, for the first entry in a 3D fighting franchise, it has your standard 8-character roster. You have your not Ryu, not Ken, you have the lady, you have big guy, weird old guy, samurai ninja guy, this knight guy for whatever reason, and then a sexualized child. Oh, whoops, I ran out of time. So I'm playing as her. And yeah, you know, there's polygons, the polygons move, the polygons seem to mostly work. You know, you can rotate around a bit. It's very fun. It's very stupid. The animations feel slow. The movement feels slow. Like this game feels bad. And from what I can tell, people at the time mainly considered it good for having, you know, textures on the characters. And yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, this is stupid. So, fun fact, this game is like the great-great-grandparent of Soul Calibur. Kind of. So there's going to be eventually 3 Toshinden games, and then Soul Edge, and then Soul Calibur. So really, Soul Calibur is actually like the 5th Toshinden game, which is cursed. Because this sucks. Like, this isn't fun. Like, you're supposed to be, I guess, like, flipping around a lot to do something. You know, and this is like a 4-button fighting game, too. It's not like Street Fighter or something where you have 6 buttons. It's 4 buttons. So it already feels kind of wrong in that respect. Yeah, I don't like that voice sample either. You know, the character movement feels bad. You know, there's kind of a dash in there, but it doesn't work that well. I'm playing on very easy, and I just barely got through the first fight.
I never give up.
Not because it's hard, but because it's crap. And just like with Ivy and Soul Calibur, Sophia is the most recognizable Toshinden character for the obvious reasons. So yeah, I don't know any combos, and even if I did, I probably couldn't do them. So it's a lot of this. And also, she never gives up, either. But you know, good for her. Yeah, there's a reason why Sophia ends up on the box art of all the sequels. Really, if you ask me, and you shouldn't ask me, but if you did, I would say that
Never give up.
Toshinden is only really significant because it made it to consoles before Tekken or Virtua Fighter 2. But yeah, if you wanted to play like a really bad version of Virtua Fighter, then Battle Arena Toshinden's the game for you. Hey, see what I mean about the whole spinning around? You're probably supposed to do that more, but it's kind of lame. You know, this is before developers figured out that a lot of three-dimensional movement isn't the thing that makes 3D fighting games fun. Because really, you know, if I'm going to talk out my butt for a bit here, like the modern 3D fighting games, you know, like the modern Mortal Kombats, the modern Tekkens, they basically function the same as 2D fighting games in practice. Because the whole idea of having a stage where you can, you know, go in and out of the screen, and there's a stage you get knocked out of and all that, it just doesn't. It never worked well past Virtua Fighter. Or I guess the first 3 Virtua Fighters. And it isn't until, you know, the late 90s that people actually figure that out. So there's going to be a lot of also-ran 3D fighting games like this. This isn't the worst one by any means. But it certainly is one of them. And yeah, this also has the expected thing of you get to like the 4th or 5th fight, and then the game decides that you're not allowed to win anymore. Also very typical. See, I have no idea I did that. That's probably useful though. I should do that more actually. And yeah, you can't choose characters in between continues, like, you know, Tekken or Virtua Fighter. So yeah, it almost seems as if they spent most of the design work on the character models than on actually making a good game. Like, what happened to her midsection there? Did she just, like, expand and contract? That's weird. Yeah, see, I'm not gonna win this. You know, maybe with practice, you know, looking up the combos, ordering the combos, doing all that, I can eventually get good with a character. But why, though? You know, like, fighting games, if you're not playing with another person, you're kind of wasting your own time. That's just my opinion. Hey, I won. How about that?
I never give up.
See, she never goes up. Yes, the only way to defeat big guys is to hit them with your butt. Remember that, people. And whenever you get into a fight, just turn around and do a butt bash. Yep, and there we go. Never block, that's what I say. Blocking's for cowards. Also, cowards win, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, that's Toshinden. I don't like playing this. I'm not going to play any more of it. You see, look, game over. That's the only way to win. Let's get a game over. And that is all for this time. Next Saturday, I should be back with some 3DO games to show off, and oh boy, are you going to want to see that. So, until next time, take care of yourselves.